Well, hi, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I'm here again with Steve Hill for Satanist Says What? And today we have a very special announcement. This is the very first time Steve is saying this on any kind of public forum. So, Steve, you want to give us your announcement?
I will be running for the 25th Congressional District of the state of California. Since tomorrow's a holiday, I will be filling out paperwork on Tuesday, and I will be running, and I do intend to start some type of fucking revolution to get us out of this shit. And I plan on winning.
Okay, and we'll keep up to date on that, and I will continue to put things like if you have a website or a donation site or whatever.
Haven't even got it established yet.
I'm just saying, when that happens, let me know. I'll start putting those links down in the descriptions, and so people will be able to access that kind of stuff when it comes up.
Sure will. Indeed.
All right, cool. So look for stuff from Steve in the near future on his run for the 25th Congressional District. Did I get that right?
That's it. That's it. Yeah, you can let people do a little research on it. It was the seat that we all put our human forces, our powers together, and a young lady by the name of Katie Hill won the seat, who we all supported. First time that seat had, flipped to a Democrat in, I think, since forever in the history of the damn state. I think it's never been a Democrat. So anyways, she lost the seat due to a sex scandal, which to me really isn't a sex scandal, because as long as you're not hurting nobody, nobody leaves the scene bleeding, then it's your own business. Just like Bill Clinton's blowjob, that was his business. JFK, that was his business. All of the politicians in history, Arnold Schwarzenegger, I mean, really, it's your business. Just don't bring it to the job with you, because you're working for the people. That's all that matters. So, yeah, I mean, sex is just as human as our each individual self. Everybody has a sexual appetite for something. And just because someone's not participating in it the way you want them to, or by the way the Bible might have instructed you to, for sexual gratification, then it's nobody else's business. But that's not where we fell out at. We fell out because she brought a carpetbagger into my 21st Senate District to run against me, which really pissed me off, because it just showed me just how big the political beast of a machine that it is, where all it takes is money and power, and you can basically run your little kingdom or your district.
So what will you sort of things you run on your platform?
Oh, first thing would be police reform. The absolute first thing. Black people have been living under this low-grade civil war with the police. Everyone knows that it goes on. And because of politics, it'll never change until you get someone who has the will to change the system, have accountability. When these cops go out, hit the street, you're going to be held accountable if you fucked up. If you're out there doing all kinds of wild stuff and violating the civil rights of citizens, then there's accountability for that. Yeah. So law. Criminal justice system. I mean, that's just another piece of nomenclature to the whole law enforcement window. We need to do a whole lot of things. I think the country's having an awakening now, since they publicly lynching black men now on TV, like Eric Gardner and George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, and all of it. Every it's a fucking list. Everybody knows. But yeah, we need to fix law enforcement, and we need to do it exponentially. I mean, this shit cannot wait. We need to change it. because if you think about it, Black people still are not free. If you're being over-policed in your community, or you don't even have the freedom of your own movement to go where the fuck you want to go, do what you want to do, see what you want to see. If you don't have that freedom in your own country, like, where do you go?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going nowhere, so I got to stand and fight for it. So yeah, we're going to do something about law enforcement first. Right out, that's number one. My next one is, it's kind of a tie between over-incarceration and education, the importance of education. You know, I think we've discussed it before. I wish Black people could be given reparations in form of free college tuition for descendants of slaves for the next 4 or 5 generations. I mean, if we don't get in and change the base, the infrastructure, the solid foundation of education in this country as it relates to African Americans, then they're always going to have an example of a negative ethnic group
Mm-hmm.
to feel superior to. I mean, they want us to stay in this condition. They want us to stay dumb, ignorant, and praising Jesus. Yeah, that's that goes into an entire another question about redlining and real estate and communities. I mean, right there in my hometown of St. Louis, there's partly a better demonstration of how they used freeways to separate communities, basically as ethnic drawing lines to keep Black people out. It is the most detrimental thing with the longest lasting negative effect that this country has done, other than slavery and maybe killing off the Indians and taking their land. I don't know. It's pretty tough competition for what fucking people could be so treacherous. But yeah, the redlining, the you know, and all ties into that: education, crime. I mean, all you got to do is go to these cities they put us in, like the north side of St. Louis, where my nephew was murdered a few years ago. All you got to do is just go to these cities and look at the list that you don't want to be on, like high school expansions, the expulsion rates, the incarceration rates, the contact with law enforcement. We're at the top of every list that you don't want to be on. So yeah, we need to figure this shit out. And as long as we have these greedy ass politicians that are taking money and being bought and sold, it's not going to be fixed. Yeah. Unfortunately, we live in a lot of in America, because of the social and economic structure of how our communities exist. People can operate perfectly fine living within a bubble. And a lot of people in America do, because money separates us, real estate, location, geographic conditions, I mean, jobs, everything basically separates us. And as far as I could see, this country is still, 30% Confederate. We got to address what happened on January 6th. As a United States Marine Corps veteran and a retired peace officer, I think the motherfuckers owe it to me to tell me what the fuck was that? What was, and now they act like, oh, we don't care. That was nothing. They were tourists. The motherfuckers, they were taking pictures and rolling cameras and
just forget
eating pizza straight out the box. Yeah, we need to find out. I mean, how many investigations we have on Benghazi? A
lot, for years, right?
I mean, Hillary herself sat there and testified for what, 11, 12 hours? And they wanted to know everything.
Over and
Why
over.
wouldn't every decent human being want to know, how did this shit happen and how do we keep it from happening again?
All right, so police reform, education, more on your platform?
Oh yeah, you want to keep you want to keep going? Shit, I got a whole damn list. Yeah, man. We need to talk about immigration. We need to have an honest conversation about immigration, because I have lived in my community for 30 years, and but for the sacrifice, the hard work and labor of the undocumented workers, this place wouldn't be what it is.
Mm-hmm.
In this country, what do? This country was founded on exploiting people for their labor. And when you can hire undocumented for, it used to be $10 an hour, and fucking work, working like they're basically a rented slave. And you can do that. I've seen a lot of businesses become, thriving, big businesses, bigger businesses, because when they show up at your house to do repairs or to do a roof or install new windows, guess who's doing all the work? Seen it with my own eyes. I've got friends here who own a business. Got a friend that owns a machine shop, Mexican. He told me the city park where he purchased all of his fake documents at. Nice guy. Known him for a long time. I appraised his house.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine that. Not a citizen, got a house.
And who would you want a neighbor, right? I mean, wouldn't you want him to be your neighbor? So person who,
Yeah, I actually instructed him to move off one part of town because I know the other part is better, and it's more diverse actually. A good mixture of, the ethnic groups. Yeah, man, these people are good, hardworking people who are basically paying their way, paying their own dues to become American citizens. And at some point, we got to make these people proud whenever they do get their citizenship, because we keep acting this ugly, man. This is not what, growing up in the 70s, this is not what I thought America was about. This is some bullshit. And the first thing we need to do is change our politics and tell the truth that our government is broken. So, yeah, we need to come to some hard truths and realizations about who we are. We need to talk about kids in foster care.
Okay.
We need to talk about kids who are being abused, neglected, molested. We need to talk about those children. I'm here in Palmdale. I don't know if you saw that Gabriel, what's his name? Gabriel Hernandez? The little Latino boy who parents fed him like cat litter and kept him in a crate and did all kind of horrific shit to him, beat him, punched him. Anyway, they basically killed him. They're in jail now. We having children that are being abused, neglected. We got kids in foster care that shouldn't be there. If human life is worth so much, why don't some of these Republicans, really, have a good heart and care for some of these kids we already have here, instead of trying to make the decision for a woman if she wants to have an abortion or not. So, yeah. Next topic. Mm-hmm. Those are foster kids. Next topic. Let's go to homeless.
All right.
Let's go to homeless, especially here on the West Coast, LA County, San Diego, San Francisco. Big magnets, big draws for homeless people. A lot of people get to California and find out, oh shit, this is expensive. All it takes is to be out of a job for a couple of months. You either go back to where you come from, or you might find yourself homeless or seeking some kind of assistance. So, but yeah, our weather here in the high desert of Los Angeles, California is pretty decent. I would say 70% of the time the sun is shining. We don't get rain that much. We get a couple of extreme, but it draws homeless people. It's a survivable environment for them to be out in the elements, in the high desert of California. And then the politicians treat them like fodder instead of treating them like human beings, treat them like shit, just like they do the people on Section 8 or the people in the lower, more economically challenged areas of town that I call them. Politicians use all of that.
Mm-hmm.
They use fear to basically stay in office. It's the shit is so old. Somebody's got to come and change it. And I don't see many people really, being bought out is how I see it. I can't sell out to nobody. If I get the power of the people behind me, who knows? I might fuck around and win.
Mm-hmm. But we can hope for that and work for that.
It would be some. I know I'm breaking ground again. I don't think there's ever been a black Satanist humanist. I characterize myself as a satanic humanist. I got to get used to saying that so people will totally understand. Because I don't want to be pigeonholed into nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I really love the concept of Satan because everybody's scared of Satan and the devil has done all this evil and bad. It's like, how do you know? He's not here. He can't talk. He can't speak for himself. How the fuck do you know? You going off what those people over there said? The people over there who telling you how to live your life, who to have sex with, what child to have, where to live. Fucking, it's just, yeah, I think he's getting a bad rap.
So it's sort of it's like a symbol of standing up to the man then, right?
Yeah.
Speaking from power.
And adversary.
Mm-hmm.
I think for me, the best term would be an adversary. We got to grow up. We got to get out of this. I hate just the discussion, because to me, it gives validity to the whole story. When, like, no, you have to explain the Bible this way. And like, no, you don't have to explain it at all to me because I consider it a fucking joke. And people, try to tell them, and, you argue with religious people, and what do? The first thing they do, they reference the Bible. And to me, this shit is like, referencing a episode of Good Times or something. Like, who gives a fuck? That's not real. I deal with stuff with real. I look at the human condition and I see people out in the elements trying to survive, and kids who are being molested, and people that, can't educate themselves because it's too goddamn expensive, and they'll be paying back student loans until the day they die. I mean, this shit is all fucked up. So somebody's gotta tell the truth.
Also, we're talking to me a little bit earlier about the Synagogue of Satan that you were kind of excited by.
Yeah, I've as black people say, I found a new church home. Yeah, friend on Facebook. The guy. I made my Facebook public. So this guy, I guess, gentleman by the name of Mark, he'd been following me and he'd been sharing all of my posts and commenting and messaging me, and so I finally responded to him, and he told me all about his synagogue of Satan and how they were around long before the Satanic Temple, and he got his idea off me, which is like, yeah, okay, good to know, good to know you actually did do it first. That that means something to me also. But yeah, I'm going to be providing pastoral duties to the congregation for the foreseeable future.
All right.
Yeah, we'll be working together, put it like that, and we're gonna build it up on the West Coast to make it a viable, tax-free religion like the rest of these crooks do. The city of Lancaster already has, I think they have about 9. They call them faith-based community houses. Basically, it's the churches who are running these little community houses. The mayor purchased these properties back in, I think, around 2009, when all of the foreclosures and distressed properties were on the market. He purchased up a bunch of these and he let the churches run it. Basically, it's like, brainwashing children in the communities. I mean, if you were like Hitler, this shit would be perfect. And yeah, I mean, it's so much shit going on around here. But yeah, I think I will ask him, can the Synagogue of Satan put a house there? Maybe they'll even help with the acquisition of the property, seeing as how all the churches have one. I think I'll do that when I'm running for, boy, you know, that might just be my first campaign fuckery.
It's a faith-based housing, but to be a Synagogue of Satan.
Yeah, do a Synagogue of Satan and have, you know, free tutoring after school for kids. We get back to normal. You know, just a safe place. That's not, you know, ain't nobody gonna tell you, you know, that some magical motherfucker is up in the sky granting wishes and, you know, allowing you to win football games and shit. Tell them, you know, maybe tell them the truth, you know, maybe educate them on how real estate works, or, you know, how the educational structure is set up for you to really work hard in high school so you can get to a good institution of higher learning, you know, to acquire as much knowledge as you can so you won't be tricked by the current system we have in place. But yeah, it's going to be interesting, but we'll have these conversations and
Yep. We'll have you back and you can talk some more on this. And so if you like this video, remember to hit like and subscribe. If you didn't like it, hit dislike. The algorithm doesn't really care. So and if you have comments down below, just go ahead and put them there, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Hail Satan.